What's up, everyone? This is Candace Cordelia here for Face Turn with Candace Cordelia. I am sitting next to the current Warrior Wrestling Women's Champion, former NWA Women's World Champion, AEW wrestler, and all-around amazing woman, Thunder Rosa and Drago. Drago is here with us. What's up, Drago? How are you, Thunder? How's it going?
Good. I'm just getting ready for a busy, well, not in the middle of a busy day, so yeah, I'm good.
Yes. I appreciate you taking time out to speak with me. And I was going to mention congratulations on your Full Gear win. I see you're rocking the shirt. How does it feel? What's going on?
Well, I feel great. My nose doesn't feel that great. I ate it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but it's good. It was actually this is my second Full Gear show that I attend, and it's my fifth. I don't know, but it's so good. It's so cool that I'm allowed to be part of the pay-per-view weekend. And it just being the opening match is so important. People don't understand how important it is for us to set the tone for the whole entire show. And I'm really happy that the match went the one that I went and that we got the win. And I love tagging with Sheeta. She is so much fun to wrestle with, against, and with. So yeah, it was really cool. It's a really awesome week.
Yes, it looked like fun. I had a blast watching you and Sheeta up against Jamie Hayter and Nyla Rose. I enjoyed the match, and I'm sure so many others did as well, but I really want to get into Mission Pro Wrestling because we're here for what I've dubbed Mission Pro Week here at PWI and with Face Turn. I wanted to put a spotlight on Mission Pro because I personally believe the promotion is really at the forefront of what looks to be a women's wrestling revolution going into the new year. And you are the vanguard of this movement. And I also want to bring up number 5. Gotta mention it. Number 5 on PWI Women's 150. I had it ready. So congratulations. You're killing it, Thunder. You've done so much in this year, but especially with Mission Pro. So my first question for you when it comes to your promotion, you are the owner of Mission Pro Wrestling, is what was the defining moment in your life where you thought to yourself, I need to make my own wrestling promotion?
When I wasn't getting booked. I wasn't getting booked, and it was honestly, it was a struggle just to make people understand the talent that I could bring to their promotion, and that I deserve an opportunity. And when so many doors were closed in my face for X, Y, and Z, that's when I told Brian and I were kind of maybe we should create our own stuff and really start promoting new talent and see how that goes, right? And that's what we did when we first started our first promotion. And this second one was kind of again, I continue to see so many discrepancies and so many things. And I saw some of the women that were so talented, but they were never booked for, you name it. I'm not going into details. So, but it was definitely the lack of opportunities that were given to me at the moment. And I said, if I'm not given an opportunity, I might as well create my own. And that's why we decided to invest in a women's promotion.
How hard was it for you and also your partner, Brian, to really get the ball moving with creating your own promotion? Because I believe it couldn't have been an easy task at the start.
No, but you know what? At the moment when we first created our first one, we talked to a lot of the people that we had connections with. And we were like, hey, we're starting this thing. It's a new thing. We would like to be part of it. And if you can help us out, right? It was kind of grassroots kind of thing. And it was a collective effort. And then the second one, people already knew who we were. We were already established, with the first promotion that we got. And then this one was kind of a given. People were ready to jump in because they knew that whatever we were going to do was going to be good.
Who was the first wrestler that you reached out to in order to be a part of Mission Pro?
It was probably Holiday. Who's been the first one?
She was on the first show.
No. She wasn't on the first show.
The first person I ever talked to? Oh, Jazz.
For the first show in Mission Pro was Jazz. And I know I talked to Holiday because she's my right hand and I told her what was happening. So we were just like started talking to like different people like that have been close to us. Then another person that I contacted with right away was Lacey Ryan, which now is Zoe Sky on NXT, and La Rosa Negra. Like these were two of the ones that I was like, what? Why in the world are you guys not promoted more? And you guys are so talented. Like Zoe Sky was like, she was here in Texas, and I saw her and I wrestled her a couple times. And I was just like, it blew my mind that people were not like knocking on her door more until like she moved to Vegas, and then she like made a name for herself. And for La Rosa Negra, I mean, she's been wrestling for 17 years, and she's a very talented woman. So she was definitely one of those ones that I was like, okay, we're gonna bring you here. We're gonna they can win. Let's do this, So those are the ones that I pretty much contacted first.
One thing that really stands out, at least to me, when it comes to your thought process in terms of wrestling, the business, is that you are really an advocate for wrestlers, no matter the gender, to really having ownership of their talent, but also ownership of their pockets, having that financial awareness, financial stability, and really making sure that they're setting themselves up, not just for success as a wrestler, but for success for the rest of their lives with their pockets, with their finances. So talk to me more about that and why you feel it's so important for wrestlers to really have a hold of who they are in their craft, but also making sure that they're setting themselves up financially for the rest of their lives.
I think it was COVID what really made me realize even more, because I always, had that in mind that no matter what, you're always one injury away from not being able to do what you love. And like for a lot of people, not necessarily me, professional wrestling has been a childhood dream, and this is the only thing they've been wanting to do since they were little kids. So when it's taken away, it really takes everything. Like it takes away their identity, their will to live, everything, right? So for me, how I saw professional wrestling before I decided to quit my 9-to-5 job was, wow, like this is a humongous platform to make not only a name for yourself or your brand, but also to probably make as much money as you possibly can and retire early, right? And then now we're so blessed to have like so many different platforms and where you can make a living that is not necessarily being in the ring, and you just got to smarten people up on what things to do. And for me, that's been like so important, how marketable you are, like owning your own name, trademarking your name, so people don't take advantage of you. I think in every entertainment platform, I think the artist and everybody that works there, at one point they're being taken advantage of because like of the will and then the drive that you have to become successful. But once you start educating yourself and things that you can do and how you can protect yourself, it is important to talk about it to other people. Some people are going to listen, some people are not going to listen, which is like one of the lessons that I learned trying to speak to some of the new generations of professional wrestlers. I've only been wrestling for 7 years, but I can tell you like the amount of knowledge that I learned, and I'm not talking just about psychology in the ring, how to be a wrestler, but it's like everything else that is so important now in 2021 to become a successful business person, because we are our own businesses. We are independent contractors. It is so important that we take that and we use it for in our advantage. And like I said, to me, giving back by that is educating, teaching men and women about the things that they can do. It's so important because that's what I'm leaving. That's my legacy, is educating. I always wanted to be a teacher. And this is like the time that I'm allowed to become a teacher, become a mentor. And some of the girls like reach out to me, and some guys reach out to me too. Like some young guys. I have one of my students, his name is JP Harlow. That's what he goes. And I am taking him under my wing. He's like part of our family. I call him my adopted son. And he's learning from bottom to the top. That's how, when we were on the road with Roland Alexander, we were like taking notes on what to do and what not to do in professional wrestling. And we learned so much just by the time that we spend with that person. And we have applied a lot of the stuff that we learned from there into our own stuff. So hopefully like people don't take me as I'm so full of myself. I'm not. I just want to give back to this business that he has given me so much.
Mm. What do you feel is the number one question that you're constantly asked from anyone that comes to you for advice?
That's a good question.
How do I get to this?
How do I get to the point that you are? And that's
Mm.
like, that's a really good question. It all depends on what was that?
So you need a team.
Yeah, you need a team. Like for me, like I've been really, really blessed that like I have found positive people that it is uplifting me and they want the best for me. And that's why I've been able to do so much in a short time. And also just being like the question is like how do I do it is just being relentless. You have to be relentless in this business in order to be successful.
Mhm. Now, getting into Mission Pro and the parameters of it all, I mean, it's been around since 2019, but it's grown in such a very fast amount of time, especially and even in a pandemic, which is a huge accomplishment in and of itself. What's something that you learned as a business owner that you weren't even expecting to learn getting into this endeavor and owning Mission Pro?
And there's two things that will you can get rid of or that will find you. That is death and IRS. So learn how to do your taxes. You know, definitely that's one of the one things I was like, oh my god, like Jesus, you would one mistake can cost you so much.
Hmm.
That I think the power of community. Um, Mission Pro really is based on community and is based on sponsorships. Is based on fans believing in what we do, and definitely we have gone. They have gone above and beyond to support Mission Pro, and this is a reason why we've been so successful in the last year and a half. And we have been able to become almost like self-sufficient in certain aspects. Like we own our own ring. I was blessed that I was able to with the money that we have invested buy a truck and a trailer so we can carry our stuff and we can travel all over the country if necessary. So that was like one of the main things that we always said that we were going to do and we've been doing. The other thing is like we learn is like when you give opportunities to people or you not give like you provide and allow people to be successful. I think more blessings come to your way, and I think that's what we have been able to do with Mission Pro is we have directed people in the right way, and some people have gotten opportunities, and we're really happy that we were able to be part of their success, even if it's small or as big as that is.
Mm. And you have a stacked roster at Mission Pro. So many women from Holiday to Kylan King, Maddie Rankowski, Kayla Sparks. The list goes on and on. And how does someone get a chance to be a part of Mission Pro? What qualities do you exactly look for?
Well, we're really I would say I'm kind of picky on who we will like. We always push new talent. We always wanted to push new talent. One of the things that we ask when they come and work for us is you have to be very professional. Like we stand for the whole statement of what professional wrestling should be and should look like. If I send you an email, you need to respond to the email. If we are very straightforward and some of the requirements that require for you to be in our show, like we wanna be able to support you and promote you, but at the same time you have to promote ourselves. I mean, to promote our products, because our product is being seen by so many different people in so many different countries. We are the most watched show in Title Match Network. They have over 3 million followers and 3 million subscribers, and I'm telling you, last time I think it was 38 different countries that watch our show. So people are watching our product. So it is so important that when the ladies come here, that they know no egos. That egos are out the door. We're here to work. We're here to like literally to build this from the ground up, and that means ring crew, taking the ring, cleaning after themselves, teaching them all that stuff. Because I think now this last I would say 3-4 years, I've noticed that a lot of the stuff that was taught to me 7 years ago is not being taught, or it's kind of like, well, I don't I just come here to wrestle. I don't need to do a bunch of stuff. No, you still have to do it. You still have to respect the place that you work. This business was built, by paying your dues. And even though you're still getting paid, you still have to pay your dues. So that's like, I'm a firm believer that no matter how high you are on the totem pole, you still pay your dues. And I can tell you, like, I've seen that with Chris Jericho. I've seen that with like Malachi. We've seen that with Daniel Bryan. Like, even when they're working at AEW and something needs to be done, they're the first ones to jump in ship and to pay their dues. Mm-hmm. Oh, Vicky Guerrero, like, she in our locker room is a saver. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't in the locker room. She doesn't have to do none of that stuff. She doesn't have to go above and beyond. She does that because she cares for the business. And I think it is so, so important that we continue to teach that to the new generations.
Mm-hmm. And it's clear that you're a mentor to so many, but I'd love to know, who's your mentor? Who do you look up to in this business, and who gives you advice to keep yourself going?
I am very, very close to Dustin Rhodes right now. He's been one of my main agents at AEW. Jerry Lynn, I talk to Jerry Lynn a lot. Who else I talk to a lot? Those are the main people that when I have like an issue, or like I kind of like, I don't know what to do, I talk to them. And Dustin is very similar to me. And he always tells me like straight up certain things. And it's nice to like have people like that I can feel like I can go to. When I was in NWA, there was Trevor Murdoch. Every time I needed a pep talk, I'll get on the phone with Trevor and call him all the time. Mm-hmm. And but yeah, those are the ones that I go to all the time.
That's beautiful. And I mentioned the women's 150, you're being in the top 5 at number 5, and it's just phenomenal to see the trajectory of when it comes to PWI and the 150 going from 50 to 100 to 150. And we've talked before, myself and my colleagues, about how hard it was to even just cap it at 150 because there's so much talent out there. What are your thoughts on women's wrestling today and going forward, in terms of how far women have come in the field and how far women have to go?
Well, I definitely feel now that we're allowed to be more athletic and more do a lot of the stuff that, probably 10 years ago, many women weren't doing. And I think now the public is expecting that kind of aggressiveness and that kind of athleticism with women step in the ring. I think there's still a lot more things that it needs to be done in terms of spaces in the mainstream media and even in the independent scene. I think women deserve more spaces, and when they're being booked, I still continue to see a lot of shows in where there's only one women's match. And there's a lot more women that are becoming wrestlers. So the competition is tight, and you have to either be really, really good, really, really popular to like be in certain shows, or like what was that? Or otherwise you won't get an opportunity. That's why I keep preaching to everybody. You have to make yourself marketable. You have to make yourself like people. I always tell everybody that I mentor, make people want you, not all the way around. Mm-hmm. Oh, when you're wanted, you're not going to be struggling with work. But when I'm talking about being wanted, you got to do all the work. You got to do all the work that a lot of people don't want to do. And that's what's going to set you apart. And even now at the stage that I'm in my career, I want people to want me. It's like that demand. And it's just not because I'm popular, not because like I have a super cool YouTube show and all that stuff. It's because everything else that I do too was like when I step in the ring, they know they're going to get a good match out of me. They know that I'm going to elevate my opponent. They know that I come in with no ego. They know the promoter know that I'm there to work with them, because I am a promoter myself too. So I know that the money that they're investing, they're going to get back. That is people need to understand. It's all about numbers. Are you drawing to the show for them to book you? If you're not, I'm not going to book you. You have to make yourself marketable. You have to know that when people are investing $700-800 for your flight, for your hotel, and for your payout, that they're going to get it back. And that means do the work by promoting yourself, telling people that you're going to be there, making yourself important, even though like you're just in the independent team. That's so important. I always took pride on that. And I continue to do that at this point in my career, because it is so important that by the time I decide to not to wrestle or something happens, that if any case, knock on wood, I'm no longer in a main company, that I'm still have work for some years to come until I decide to like hang up the boots, So that's so important to me, and it shouldn't change for anybody. And you shouldn't be thinking that you're above anybody else too.
Hmm. What makes Mission Pro, in your opinion, the wrestling promotion for women to come to? Aside from all the other wrestling promotions that are catered just for women's wrestlers, what makes Mission Pro unique?
We are a sisterhood. It's run by women. The camera women, the backstage is run by women. Pretty much everything is run by women. We have very few men in our show that help us, but I mean, with everything you need men, and you need other allies to run certain things. But this one is like, when we created it like that, I remember the first promo that I cut to other girls was like, we want to create a real sisterhood, and I'm talking about we are holding each other accountable. And that comes from like smarting each other up, and in the ring, like nobody comes with an attitude. If somebody has an attitude, everybody checks them. And I think that's so important, because sometimes like we feel kind of like it's not our place to check other people. But I think things are not going to change until we start speaking up and like holding each other accountable and certain stuff. And having professional communication amongst each other. I think that is so important across the board. And yes, it might not be comfortable. And yes, some people might get pissed off, but I think it's important, because people need to learn their lesson, and they need to learn that you have to treat people with respect first and foremost. And I think that's one of the things that makes us different too, is like, we want everyone to be successful, everyone across the board. It's not like I have my favorites and I'm just going to push this. No, it's you come through the doors, you will be received like family. You will be, fed. You will be treated like family, just like how I was treated in my family. That's how I treat everyone that comes into the door on Mission Pro Wrestling, and everybody knows that. And if we have an issue, we address the issue immediately. We don't take weeks. We don't be talking about it with other people. We address the issue right in there. So I think that's good, because when they come into the locker room or the Airbnb, they feel like they belong. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, like that's such and such seat. They feel like they belong. And that's the most important part for anybody to be successful, is that they feel like they believe in you and that you belong.
That's really lovely. I love hearing stuff like that. It's really important, especially in this business. And speaking of sisterhood, I have to bring up what a lot of fans are noticing when it comes to All Elite Wrestling. You seem to be getting buddy with Tay Conti and Anna Jay. I personally am loving this, because it came out of left field. I didn't know it was happening, and a lot of fans probably didn't expect it to happen either, but we're loving it. So talk to me about this new, I don't know if it's a faction, you guys got a trios going on, but you're helping each other out. So what's that like, and what's that been about?
I honestly didn't even know I was going to have a match like that. I mean, I know I did a run-in, and they're like, oh, you guys are going to have a 3-on-3. And I was like, oh, that's cool, because like Tay and I, we've been friends for a minute now, and it's just like really funny, because it's just everything kind of like came at around the same time. So I love working with them. I mean, Anna Jay is really new, and she's like a sponge. She's always like absorbing everything, and she wants to learn a lot more. Tay is a rising star, and she comes from a completely different background than I come from. She comes from NXT, and now she's in AEW, and I'm like the independent roadie warrior, Thunder Rosa, who's like, I made a name for myself, and we all mesh really, really well. Like, we get along really, really well. And honestly, it just happened that I have pink gear made for October for Breast Awareness Month, but I had a concussion, so I was never able to use it. And they have their pink gear, so I put my pink gear, so it was like the Power Rangers right there, the pink out there. So it was really, really cool. And like I said, our chemistry, it's natural. It's not like forced or anything. So you guys can see that, of course.
Absolutely. And we love it. At least I do. I can't wait to see what happens next. We were kind of wondering for Full Gear, where where is Thunder Rosa with the whole match? What happened? Y'all were just missing in action, but it's all good. It's really good. And we can't wait to see what happens next. And speaking of what happens next, we have this December 11th show with Mission Pro, the last Mission Pro show for the year. So I'm hoping, or at least wondering, if it's going to be a big one. I assume it is. I assume there's going to be a lot of people coming out to see everyone in action. Talk to us about the formulation of that show, what we can expect without spoiling it, perhaps, and anything else.
Well, I can only tell you that I will be tagging with my son in December 11th against JP Harlow. Mm-hmm. And Miss Du Bois. So I'm like really excited. I haven't tagged with my son. This will be probably his third match ever. So he's a little nervous. Oh. And that's something, again, is very different than any other tag teams that you see. You don't really see a mother and a son tagging together. Right. So this is going to be really, really fun. It's all for Salvation Army, and we're raising funds for the Salvation Army and the programs for Christmas. And we are beyond excited, again, because it's our last show. It's going to be probably I'm sorry. So sorry.
Bless you.
We're expecting about 250 to 350 people and the Boys and Girls Club. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We have great matches set up for this. And I can't tell you, like, I love performing in my hometown. And this is going to be I don't even know when was the last time I performed in San Antonio. So we're expecting a lot of people. And I'm really blessed that I will be, like I said, on the side with my son, again, teaching him the ropes of how to be a professional wrestler. So hopefully he chooses to be a wrestler. If he doesn't, at least he's having fun right now that he's young. But yeah, we're very proud of all the work that we've done for the whole entire year and a half that we've been running. It's been magical, and we cannot wait for 2022 because we're going to be beyond BC with Mission Pro Wrestling.
I am so taken aback at the fact that you are training with your son. That's beautiful. That's really nice. And what is that even like, to be able to show your son, all the different moves, training, preparing for a match? How has that helped your dynamic?
I mean, it is important, and he knows that being a second generation wrestler, it comes with a lot of like, well, it could be positive and negative connotations, because they're going to expect you to be just as good or even better than your parents. Mm-hmm. Right. I always tell him, like, I want people to understand that he's his own person, and he's going to do his own thing, and he has his own character in there. So when I'm teaching him, he knows that things need to be done well because he's under the microscope and the pressure is on. So he understands that part. And I think that's one of the things that kind of like keep him humble. And he knows that he needs to work twice as hard as anybody else in order to be successful.
I cannot wait to see that. That is really cool. And not many second generation wrestlers can say that they have trained, with their parent, much less tagging with their parent. So that is awesome. Can't wait to see that. Speaking also of going up against folks in matches, I have to bring up, because I'm a Busted Open contributor. We know. Yeah.
There he comes.
Here it comes. When are you and David LaGreca going to bury this hatchet? Are we ever going to see a truce between you both? Or is it just like, it's never happening?
Well, I mean, I guess like some people that you need to teach him a couple lessons before they kind of like stop being idiots. And he's one of them. So as you saw, I smashed the delicious chocolate cake in his face, which he's allergic. And I cannot wait for Saturday. This is going to be a lot of fun, because all the anger that I have towards him is going to go towards Lainey Luck. So she is, man, I'm about to post something that I recorded about how I feel about her being coming back to her home turf, because she is from Texas. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to be posting it later. So I will tell you exactly how I feel about that. But last time that we set foot on a ring was a couple years ago. And that match was pretty violent. I broke a sink with my head. Mm-hmm. As she was like her butt landed on my face. I broke a sink. I almost died. We're going to be just as violent or even more the last time we saw each other. Because like there's so much bad blood between her and I, and now with her becoming David's savior, well, I don't know what's gonna happen to her or him, for that matter.
Ooh, I don't know what to expect, but what I can say is it's a highly anticipated match, and we'll see. Maybe this will be the culmination of all of the bad blood, and you guys just call a truce, and it's a wrap. Maybe you join forces, but if not, I'm entertained either way. So either way, I'm entertained. So,
I don't know if he's entertained. I mean, I took over his home, and that was a lot of that. I love being able to be in his own bed with his dog wife, my bestie, Violetta. Violetta and I, we're going to go and get our manicures done. We're going to go and enjoy San Antonio. She's coming and hang out with me in San Antonio on Thursday. So I'm super excited. And it's going to be a great weekend. Again, this show, November 20th, is one of our biggest shows too. And we're expecting a lot of people coming to the show to watch it live. And also we're expecting a lot of people to watch it on Title Match Network.
Mm-hmm. And thank you for plugging that as well, because we have to give props to what you all are doing at Mission Pro Wrestling, and not just in wrestling, but also in the Texas scene, which has grown leaps and bounds in the past few years. So talk to me about what it's like for you to have Mission Pro have their home base in Texas and really just help that scene flourish and grow to what it is now.
When we moved here to Texas in 2017, I remember telling Brian, my husband, that we were going to dominate the women's division in the state of Texas. That I remember, it was just a joke. I was like, remember the Von Erichs? I was like, yeah, I want to be like the Von Erichs of like the new generation of women wrestlers. Like when they say Thunder Rosa, is like, oh yeah, she's from Texas. I want everybody to talk about what we did for women's professional wrestling. When the first time that I came here, there was like probably 5 or 6 active wrestlers in the state of Texas. And I told Brian, there's a huge market because there's no market for women's professional wrestling. Let's change it. Let's make it the place where people want to come and wrestle. And I think in the last 5 years, as we have done, is like people are coming to Texas that, from any other places to come and wrestle. And then we are taking our show to other states to bring some of our Texas grown talent. And it feels really great that we were one of the few people that decided to invest 100% on women's professional wrestling instead of just investing on just a regular promotion, because we see the value on women athletes like anybody else does.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I will say.
Yes, and we see the value in Mission Pro Wrestling, what you're doing in your career, and also helping the careers of others. It's such an admirable thing to do, and we salute you for that, Thunder Rosa. And we can't wait to see what your promotion all get into in 2022. But for now, we are going to direct this to the December 11th show, to the upcoming November show for Mission Pro Wrestling. Watch it on Title Match Network, everyone. You don't want to miss either. We'll see what happens with Laney Luck and David LaGreca. I mean, it sounds like some bones might be broken, some blood might be shed. It's not a lights out match, but
somebody's gonna get the name tatted on their ass. It's either him or, but I'm saying it's him. He's gonna get. It says owned by TR. Thunder, little lightning bolt. Not to open his mouth.
I know you're going to be watching this, Dave. So look, I had to ask a question. I'm doing my job. But thank you so much, Thunder Rosa. This has been a pleasure to finally meet you, to have you on the PWI platform. Congratulations for everything. Got to plug this again, number 5 on the PWI Women's 150. Make sure you pick up your copy. Make sure you watch everything that Thunder Rosa is in, from All Elite Wrestling to Mission Pro Wrestling and beyond. And check out everything. Buy her merch. Support. There's charities happening. We love to see it. Thank you once again, Thunder, for being a part of this amazing episode for Mission Pro Week. And thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more interviews here on Face Turn with Candice Cordelia. But for now, we are signing off.